Welcome to episode 2, part 2 of Riding the Line. In this episode, I will be checking in with a few of the top contenders for this year's solo rider competition. I checked in with 2012 Race Across America solo winner Rito Shuk via Skype to see how his plans for Ram 2013 are going. You're a defending champion, and now you're coming back to the United States. Tell me about the pressure coming back as defending champion.
Well, I believe that the pressure is probably a little bit higher than last year. Since last year in 2012, not that many people have known me. But right now, as defending champion, probably more media know about myself. But I think it's a natural pressure, and I'm glad that there is some pressure which also motivates me and drives me.
As your training taken on some new levels of fitness that are something new for you, or?
Well, last year I haven't been training that much as this year, so I have been extending my hours per week on a bike a little bit more than last year, and since now I'm supporting this added rate of hours very, very well. So I'm very positive, and I think that also my performance test has been very well. So I believe that the training and my recovery are in a good balance.
Is this as good as it's ever been? Are you at a level now where that's much higher than last year even?
It's higher than last year, yeah. So last year I have also made a performance test, but this spring I have made another one, and this was actually the best test I've ever done, so I'm very positive towards June.
Nice. As an ultra cyclist, is this the biggest event that there is?
Yeah, for sure. The biggest accomplishment is Ram. It's the longest race. It's the most. It's the hardest one, and there's no bigger or more famous race than Ram.
How was it when you crossed the finish line?
Oh, it was awesome. It's you're crossing the country from the west to the east, and it's really a good feeling to make that by yourself, by your own muscular power. So this is it's a great feeling, and it's just incredible that you're really able to do that with your own strength in 8 or almost 8 days, or a little bit more than 8 days. So this is really impressive to myself, what a human body can actually perform.
I don't know what it'll take to get through it in under 8 days, but I bet you have figured that out. It was really a pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to getting to know you a little better and watching you through this next Ram.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you very much.
We've traveled to Seattle with Riding the Line. We're going to catch up with Chris Ragsdale and see how his preparations are going for his first Ram. He works a full-time job and has 2 kids, so I wanted to see what it takes to train for Ram with so much going on. First, going to ask you about your bikes. How much different are they than a regular race bike?
It's really similar to a standard race bike, but it is a little different. Some of the things that Valagi's done with this bike to make it different is with the seat stay here, rather than it running into the seat stay, it's actually avoids it and goes up to the top tube, which gives it a little bit more give in the rear end, as well as allowing the seat post to slide.
A plusher ride.
A little bit smoother ride, and it makes such a difference on the long miles. Other than that, the thing that's quite a bit different is it's got disc brakes on this bike.
Yeah, I was noticing that. Great in the rain. Yeah. I've seen the different types of bar mounts that guys are using for their positions.
Yeah.
Do you use the same, or?
I do. I use a Syntace C2 clip-on aero bar most of the time. I will have a climbing bike that doesn't have that, but my primary bike, which will be this bike, will be set up with aero bars on it. And
so you'll change out, like for a climb, you might change out your bike. If it's a steep climb, you're going to get on a different bike, maybe with different placements of the handlebars and so on, and maybe the gearing?
Exactly. So this bike here I'll have set up with just a standard handlebar with no aero bars on it. I'll have a lighter set of wheels on this one, and anytime we're going up steep climbs, doing passes, that kind of stuff, I'll stay on the Licio 1. But most of the time over rolling terrain or flat stuff, I'll spend on this bike, which is going to be the Licio 2 with the aero bars.
Does the position on your bars, and like if you're going to do like a 100-mile ride and you wanted to be pretty fast, you'd probably have a different position for the bike and the bars and where your hands were sitting. And in Ram, do you really change up the bike's position so you're thinking, I'm going to be on this thing for 8 days, I need to be comfortable?
I think in general most guys are setting it up a little bit differently, going with a little more comfort-oriented position versus a race-oriented position. I'm actually working with a friend right now. I've thought of this little mechanism where I would be able to mount my aero bars that I normally have on my bike. Rather than mounting it directly to the bike, I'm going to mount it to a plate, and then the second half of the plate will be mounted to the bar, to the bike, and so I'll be able to slide these two plates fore and aft to be able to get a better position, as well as being able to swap the top plate out with another set of aero bars that'll have like 2 inches of risers on there. So when I'm feeling really stiff and I'm feeling really uncomfortable, I'll actually be able to just swap on this other mechanism. It'll be something we can do really quick, really easy, and I'll be able to go back and forth. And if when I'm eating on the bike and doing all the other things on the bike that I need to do, it's less necessary to worry about the speed and the aerodynamics. It's more about being comfortable and being safe. So I'll be able to switch this quick release mechanism,
quick change, and
move it back, and I've got a much more stable, much more comfortable position on the bike.
Oh, I was going to ask you about the communication devices that you're using.
Yeah, so this year during Ram, we hooked up with Cardo systems. They do these little units that go on the helmet, and I'll be able to use wireless to the van behind me. I'm going to have the speaker in my ear as well as a microphone to be able to talk into so that they can hear what I need, when I need it. I'll also be able to play music through it. I can do it all wirelessly through my iPod. So I'll be able to...
No big horn on the top of the car?
I've actually got the megaphone. I've used that extensively over here. So we've gone from this to this.
And I understand that your wife could call you while you're out there, and you could talk to your kids while maybe not in a huge effort, but you could talk to them because it's Bluetooth.
Yeah, I'm super excited to use this stuff during Ram. I think it's going to be, so critical. No longer we'll have to worry about if I'm going off route or anything. They can just chime in.
You can talk to them and have them come up, or...
Absolutely.
Hands-free.
Hands-free, completely wireless through the iPhone. It's going to be, it's going to be good.
I also had a talk with Christoph Strasser, 2011 Ram Solo winner, during his training time on the eastern portion of this year's race course. You are one of the youngest ultra cyclists, and does that help you in any way?
I don't think that it is helping me, but I also don't think that it's a problem. I think it just doesn't matter, because a lot of people say that you're going to improve when you're older, that the best ultra cyclists are 40 years or more. But I think it's just a question of training and a question of your thinking. So if you have the mindset to do Ram, it doesn't matter how old you are.
I'm learning that the crew is just as important as the racer, and when you come to train right now, like in your pre-training, is your crew with you, or just maybe a couple of them?
At the moment, one of my crew is with me. It's Michael. He's the youngest in my team. He's just 23 years old, but he's really great. And the two of us are doing the last 1,000 kilometers of Ram. And yeah, I think you need an experienced crew, and if you have a new crew every time you do Ram, the experience is gone. So you need experience by yourself, and your crew needs experience, and that's why I try to have the same crew every year if possible.
Yeah. In 2007, you didn't finish because you came down with pneumonia during the event. I know you've learned some things from the past, but how do you stay healthy throughout the entire race?
I don't think there is a lot that you can do during the race. You can do a lot before the race. You can make a list of all the problems which can happen, like saddle sores, Sherman neck, problems with your digestive, with your stomach. You make a list and all the things you find out by talking to others, by reading books, all the things that can happen, you need a plan what to do if it happens to you. That's all you can do. So you can prepare in case of you get sick, that you know what to do, but you cannot really avoid it.
What does a typical training week consist of for you?
I only train on the bike, also in the winter. There are guys who do like running, hiking or something in wintertime. I prefer training on the bike all year. So in winter it's a lot of indoor biking on the home trainer, and I train about between 25 and 40 hours per week. So, and it changes. In the winter time you do a lot of endurance training, and when it comes closer to a race, I do a lot of tempo and speed training as well, and also very intense intervals and such things. So in my case, I don't need endurance only. I also need speed, because if you want to finish RAM in 12 days, you need a good basis of endurance, especially if you do it for the first time. But if you want to do it in 11 days, 10 days, 9 days, or even 8 days, you need to train much more and much more intense.
What is your plan? You're still, everybody's shooting to be in under 8 days, and that's really fast. So how are you feeling about attaining that as your goal?
There's so much depending on the weather. If you have headwinds or heavy rain, it's impossible to do it under 8 days. So I don't fix on that. I just want to do my best possible. And yeah, all the details I don't want to tell you before the race now, because yeah, we have a race plan, but I will keep it until the race.
When you're having let's say a bad day, and you've got your crew and they're talking to you, but there's got to be something in you that can push beyond where you're at and move forward and go beyond the suffering part. Is there any specific thing, any mantra you might repeat to yourself, or what pulls you through?
I think, again, that every racer is different on this point. Every racer has a different motivation. Why are you doing this? And that's very important to my mind, to know why you do that. You need to ask yourself before the race, maybe years or months before the race, why am I going to do this? And you need a very good answer for yourself. And you also need to know what happens when I finish the race. Is my life going to improve? Can I do a new job? Do I earn money? Is it making you happy? Or what is happening after finishing the race? Why do you do this? You need to know this exactly, because this is what helps you when you have a tough time.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Christoph. And have a good training block back there.
Yeah, and I wish you the best for the training, and looking forward to see you.
Yes, I look forward to meeting you too. Thanks. Thanks for watching Riding the Line. We'll be back in May with episode 3.